Hey guys, can you do a search of a person who's being held for protective custody? Like a mental health hold. My name is Anthony Bandiero. I'm an attorney and senior legal instructor for Blue to Gold Law Enforcement Training. Bring it to Roadside Chat. All right. So this question comes from an officer in Colorado. He says, the question came up regarding Colorado's M1 holds. That is a mental hold. And whether the police can do a full search incident to arrest. Take all items out of their pockets and so forth to make sure they have nothing dangerous on them. Or are we allowed to only do a pat down? What happens if we find something incriminating? Let's say evidence of drugs or a murder. What are we going to do? So this is a good question. It comes up a lot. And I teach the Fourth Amendment here, and Colorado generally is a Fourth Amendment state, meaning that they don't make things more restrictive than the Fourth Amendment. So under Colorado law 27-65-105, a peace officer may place an individual on an involuntary emergency mental health hold, known as M1s, for up to 72 hours if it appears that the person has a mental illness and due to that mental illness appears to be an imminent danger to self or others, or appears to be gravely disabled. That means the person cannot take to themselves, they're going to die. Now, constitutionally speaking, a mental health hold is an arrest. It's a seizure under the Fourth, and certainly a seizure under the Fourth Amendment. But it's an arrest in a sense. It's oftentimes equated to an arrest, not an arrest obviously for criminal conduct, but an arrest in a constitutional sense, meaning the level of deprivation of their freedom is similar to an arrest. And what does that mean? That means that the rules of an arrest apply here. We need, probable cause that the person is disabled, right? Mental illness. We get a search incident to arrest to make sure that they're safe while they're in our custody. Because remember, if we place the person on an M1 hold, who is responsible for that person? Who must protect them? Who must care for them and provide them, medical services and so forth? Obviously, the state of Colorado. So the way that the courts should look at this is that because the government is responsible for them, they are also they are allowed to do a search to make sure that nothing is dangerous, and also for inventory purposes to make sure that they get all their property back. Now, I think the easy cases are the pat downs. A pat down is not going to be as highly intrusive as a search incident to arrest style search. However, the problem with the pat down is that oftentimes it's not going to find all the dangerous items. And dangerous items can also include drugs. I mean, if a person snuck in fentanyl into the mental health facility and consumed it while in there and they die, who is going to be liable for that potentially? Right, the hospital, the government, especially if it's a government hospital, and the police if they didn't actually find it. So there's a lot of good reasons for doing these search incident to arrest type of searches. One case I have for you is that it's a case called Alfano versus Lynch. It's a 2017 case from the First Circuit, and they kind of describe how these protective custody holds are really like quasi-arrests, and there's a need to make sure that the person is not in danger and so forth. There is, so there's another case here. So another case called United States versus Gilmore. This is a 10th Circuit case, so that's out of the state of Colorado. Must be a danger to themselves or others in order to do these searches. Well, that's probably what you have here. That's usually what the M1 hold is going to be. So at the end of the day, I couldn't find a case directly on point for you. Maybe there's one out there. If you know it, please put it in the description. The chat, so we know what it is. But the way that Blue to Gold teaches these cases is that a hold, whether it's an M1 hold, a 5150 in California, a legal 2000 in Nevada, a Baker Act in Florida, most of these cases are going to revolve around A, are you taking away their freedom? Do you need to keep them safe? And would a search incident to arrest style search, would that actually keep everybody safe? And that's how we look at it, and that's how we teach. So hopefully your courts agree with you. If you have any cases that say that you guys don't do this, please share them in the chat. All right? Until next time, my friends, you guys stay safe.